Now, I happened to be in a shop yesterday, and someone told me about it's become quite, especially this hot weather, a lot of people are saying it's too hot to wear a woolen pair of tzitzis, so they're buying a talus cotton. Yeah, there was a cotton talus cotton. So, is there any what's the story? Is there any reason to be dafka makpid to wear a woolen talus cotton? Take here, this is from the Alter Rebbe's Shulchan Aruch, Simin Tes, Sif Dalet. Let's go through this slowly. Yesh oimrim she'ein tzitzis shel tzemer ufishtim poitrin bibegodim shel she'or minim elo im kein yiyu hatzitzis semer ufishtim yachdov. So first of all, I'll tell you who's speaking here. This is a Mayor of Rothenburg. Madame Rothenburg, anyone who's read Marcus Lehmann's book, Unpaid Ransom, this is the focus of the story is Rav Meir of Rothenburg. He was the Rebbe of the Rosh, so that puts him up approximately 700 years ago. And he takes the view that it says in the Gemara that wool and linen, they are able to be used as for tzitzis, for threads, for any garment, whether it's made of canvas, whether it's made of whatever it may be, you can have woolen tzitzis. Says that of Madame Rothenburg, that is only if it's tzitzis made of wool and linen together. When you've got tzitzis which are made of wool and linen together, then you can put them onto a canvas beged, onto a silk beged. Let's read further. Dehainu, shnei chutin cheles. If you have your tzitzis made of 2 threads, every tzitzis is made of 4 threads, which are folded in half, and therefore you have 8 ends, but it's 2 and 2. If 2 of the, and here's also an interesting point, I'll discuss it because it's come up. Those who've been following 3 Parakim a day in Rambam, the Rambam learns that cheles is only one of the 8. And the impression is that you take a half a string and dip it in the dye, and that becomes blue, and all the rest, the 7 out of the 8 are white, and one is blue. Many Rishonim learn differently, and they say that the tzitzis are made up of 4 threads. If you have tcheles, 2 of those threads will be blue, and 2 of those threads will be white. Years ago, it was in Shalayim, I went to this Machona Mikdash exhibition at the top of above the Koisel. You go into the Altstadt in Misgav Ladach Street. So they had there on display about 9 different opinions of how tcheles should be put in. They have also different opinions of what tcheles is, what the chilazon is. At any rate, certainly the Bali Atoisfus and Rothenburg also is learning that tcheles would be 2 threads, would be 2 out of the 4 are wool, and they are blue, and shnei chutin tefishtim, and 2 of the threads are linen. If you take a combination of wool and linen, and we learn from the pasuk that you can have shatnez together with tzitzis, then such tzitzis, which are shatnez tzitzis, they can be used for a silk garment. But if the tzitzis are made only of wool or only of linen, then for wool you can have wool tzitzis, for linen you can have linen tzitzis, and for cotton you should have cotton threads for your tzitzis, and for silk you should have silk threads for the tzitzis. So according to this Rebbe Rothenburg, if you got a cotton baguette, the threads, instead of using the regular woolen threads for your tzitzis, you should actually be getting cotton threads for your cotton garment. You look around, and the common minig is to put woolen threads of tzitzis on the corners of a gatalas, which are made of silk. So in other words, this is the opinion of Maram Rothenburg. But the general consensus doesn't seem to follow that. Yerei Shamayim would make a point to have, if you have a linen talus, have linen tzitzis, and you have a cotton garment, have cotton tzitzis. That's the recommended hanoga for Yerei Shammai. So this is, first of all, that if you're wearing a cotton beged, we recommended to have cotton threads for your tzitzis. There was a time that they were available. I don't think they're even available nowadays. You know, the manufacturers have to make parnosa. If there's no buyers, they don't produce them. Years ago, 50 years ago, you could get these cotton threads to put on cotton begodim, but it didn't remain popular. Then the Alter Rebbe says further, there are those who say that an authentic garment to be chayiv b'tzitzis min haTorah is either wool or linen. All other fabrics are not chayiv b'tzitzis min haTorah at all. If you want to fulfill this mitzvah in the most choice way, so you want to do the mitzvah of tzitzis in the optimal way, you should have a woolen talus and a woolen talus cotton, and you'd have the threads for the corners would be made of white wool. And this way you fulfill the mitzvah of tzitzis without any hesitation. So what we're seeing is very clear that having a cotton garment with woolen tzitzis in the cotton, so according to Ram Rutenburg, that's you're not yaitzer. And in other words, you're wearing a four-corner garment without tzitzis. Besides that, you're certainly not fulfilling a mitzvah min haTorah. And therefore, that's the hishtadlos, the fnim mishur sadin, to wear dafka, a woolen garment. I just want to throw in one other nekuda. If there's no erev, so then it becomes more of a question. If you're wearing tzitzis which are not kosher tzitzis, it becomes a shaila of wearing them where there's no erev. Someone's pointing out here, you go into the Anglo-Jewish, the United Synagogue, very common, that would have silken threads with silken talis. The problem there being that the prayer shawls are too small to be to really be called as a garment. A garment has to cover an amo, a significant part of the body. Let's move down. What's this other question? Does the use of non-same material tzitzis called out? Thank you. Yes, that's why I was saying if there's no erev, then you have an additional problem of wearing a garment with tzitzis, which not alma without in the street. Here's just a sicha. Just throw in which the Rebbe it's interesting. I'm not sure which audience the Rebbe is addressing here. It's a Yud-based Talmudic Fabrengen. It's in America. It's summer, going into summertime, and the Rebbe says about the Yetzer Hara coming with another svara. He says, well, when you're home, you have to wear a tie, and you have to wear a shirt with a stiff collar, and then you have to choose between which pair of two pairs of shoes. You have to choose which shoes you're going to wear, and they have to make sure that the socks are matching. I think he doesn't mean matching one another. I think he means matching your tie. And then, but when you're in the bungalows, so then you don't have to wear a tie, and so then you don't have to wear a hat on top of your yarmulke, and you don't have to wear shoes. You can. And then he says you might be tempted to take off your yarmulke. And why do you have to have a talis cotton made of wool? You can have a pashut talis cotton, and nish gefährlich if you take off your talis cotton altogether, and you'll just go around just wearing shorts like the kohanim. I remember the Rebbe saying this also in later years. He's walking around in a pair of shorts. In later years, I remember the Rebbe saying, someone sends me a picture from the bungalow colony, and if they didn't realize how inappropriate it was. They're sending me a picture how they're sitting there wearing these from the waist to the eyes and the rest of the body. And then he says, and you say to him, but he's not allowed to do this. So he says, I'm on vacation. Vacation means prikasel haMedina, and b'meila prikasel shel ma'ila. And then the Yetzer Hara comes along and says, tznius. Tznius, that's for women and girls. For men, boys, don't worry about tznius. But this, it says, the Rebbe is just the opposite of Shulchan Aruch, because the dinim of tznius are explained in the beginning of Shulchan Aruch. There, I think it's Siman Gimel around there, and makes no difference at all between noshim la'anoshim. Okay, just brought that in, but that's the Chassidus Shid would be mishtadel to wear a woolen talskah.